Hi, hello guys. My name is Hugo Flores. I'm a biology major. I'm from the UTeach program, and the lesson that I'm gonna show you guys is about The Giver. It's about the book, and the topic is utopia and versus dystopia. So first, how I would introduce it to my students. I would first just explain them or just mention utopia versus dystopia, and see what comes to their minds. Maybe they some of them may know, some may not know it. So I would first just pitch it to them, see how they react, and for the engage, I would have a four corners activity. So for this is basically you divide the classroom into four corners, and as you ask questions, the students are asked to. So I would line them up in the middle. So I've done this in my lessons, and I line them up in the middle, and then depending on their answer, we select different spots in the room for to answer a question. So if I were to ask, do you think that utopia is something good? So even if they don't know, they still just it's just an engage for them to become interested, so they can just walk around and see. So if you either were to answer yes, it would come to this corner, then no to this corner, or a different answer or a neutral answer. So this is just an interactive way for them to answer instead of just having the teacher ask the questions and the students being in their seat writing down notes or answering back to the teacher. So and it's a really good activity because it's fun for them and it's also fun for the teacher. So and I would also after I ask a question, they go to the select to their choice. I would also do probing questions. So as they go for instance for yes, so I would ask them, okay, so why do you think it's a good idea to what do you think utopia is a good idea? So and just depending on their thinking level, so I would differentiate on specific students and the difficulty of the questions. So first it would be just a general open question. Then it would be so after I ask a few questions in the four corners activity, and I also ask some probing questions to specific students. I would then move on from engage to explore, which for this I would have a KWO chart. So what this is just gonna ask them for what they know as of now, what they would like to learn, and also what they learn after the reading. But during the explorer, they would only answer these two questions. So like what they know, what they think they know as of now, and what they would like to learn. And this is the handle that I would give them. So hopefully it sparks some of their interest and some other ideas that they may have from previous classes or previous experience. The chart, which was explored, then they would have to move on and start their reading. So for this, I would implement the Cornell notes. So I really like this because it's a different way to take notes. It requires a deeper understanding and a deeper assessing of the questions and summaries that they have to make, which is different than just writing down notes or sentences from the book. So on here, I would ask them to summarize in their own words, like the chapters that they go through, key points that they may, or ideas that they find throughout the readings, and questions about the readings. So for this, it could be questions directed to the author or things that they're confused about, so they can write them, and or maybe they found a problem and they found a solution, or they think of a solution that can solve the problem. They can actually just write it. So I would give them this. So this would be the template. So on the middle, it would say the notes, and then on the left side it would have the key points, and on the last and key points and questions, and on the bottom part we have the summary of what they read that day. So and this is gonna help them organize their notes, organize their ideas, and as they move on to the last to the evaluate, it's gonna help them to get the information. So they're gonna come back and they're gonna review their notes, and they're gonna be able to finish the task much efficiently. So for the last portion of the lesson, I would which is evaluate, I would have a letter. So students would have to write a letter directed to the author. Now the topics or the points that they have to touch on during the letter, which we any questions that they have about the reading, things about the things that they liked about the reading, or some solutions that they came up with, their own solutions, or maybe just questions to the author discussing some of the key points that they thought they were interesting. So and I decided to do this because as I did the Cornell notes, where it asks for summaries, it asks for key points, and it also asks for questions. So those they get them throughout the reading. Then the evaluation would be just the last part, assessing all that process that they did prior to the evaluate, which was the reading. And also it requires a critical, more critical thinking than just a simple quiz or maybe a test that they would just answer with multiple choice or fill in the blank. So, and also I would ask them to ask higher order thinking questions. So in order for me to assess deeper thinking and deeper understanding of the topic, which was giver in the utopia versus dystopia.